Quick Take, Big Take coming to you from Saskatchewan here. And from time to time on the Quick Take channel, we highlight some crazy things that are happening in our world. When you look at them, and there is only one thing to say when you see them, and that is, you gotta be shitting me. Let's go.
In case you haven't figured it out yet, there's going to be some inappropriate language in this episode, so obviously, viewer beware. And first on the docket today, why don't we start off with flashcards apparently are not just for math.
So this nonprofit organization called Planned Parenthood goes around to classrooms and does sexual health presentations, right? So we're talking contraceptives, STIs, all that different stuff. And in Lumsden, Saskatchewan, in a presentation to a grade 9 class, they have this thing called Sex from A to Z cards on a side table as an available reference for students.
So this resource that contains cards that have A is for autofellatio all the way down to Y is for yellow and brown showers is made available to students on a side table at this presentation in a school at a grade 9 class.
You gotta be shitting me. Hey, listen, having sexual health conversations with kids at a younger age like this is pretty fucking important because kids are maturing a hell of a lot faster than we used to because they're exposed to a lot of this shit on this thing called the internet. But in all reality, who was the genius's idea that it was to bring these cards into a grade 9 classroom? I hadn't even heard of half of this shit. S is for snowballing, F is for felching, Z is for zagnut. The fact that there are people out there in this world right now that are defending these cards being in a classroom is pretty ridiculous.
I think most parents would hope that they're sending their children to an institution that's run by adults who would look at something like this and be like, okay, you know what? I think we're going to take a pass on the deck of cards that talks about ejaculating on your partner, blowing yourself, dunking your testicles into somebody's mouth, or taking a pee and or shit onto your partner's chest.
Now that being said, for all of you people that are out there absolutely losing your mind over their innocent little babies being exposed to this aberrant content, you gotta be shitting me.
Like, we're talking about teenagers here, folks, and I'm pretty sure that any of the kids that were exposed to these cards or pamphlet or whatever it was can open up their phone and find a video that would exemplify what's on these cards in a pretty fast manner, so I wouldn't say that it's energy well spent completely losing your shit over this.
Now, should this resource have been made available on a side table or been in a box or even been in the premises of the school during this presentation by Planned Parenthood? Obviously not. But did we really need to ban them from presenting to any classroom in Saskatchewan whatsoever? Also not. I mean, maybe next time we should just focus on the fact that Saskatchewan has one of the highest syphilis rates per capita in Canada, and maybe focus a little bit less on a deck of cards that teaches you about putting your own penis in your mouth. And for all you people that are out there cheering on the provincial government for bringing down the big hammer on organizations like Planned Parenthood, I would assume that you would be advocating for them to do the same thing to the provincially funded Legacy Christian Academy, who allegedly was responsible for children being paddled, physically, sexually, and psychologically abused, and having exorcisms performed on them to get the gay out of them, because in this situation, I would say that's a little bit more important than a deck of fucking cards. Send me some earplugs, the hypocrisy is deafening.
So Mary Simon, our Governor General of Canada, which in my opinion is still one of the dumbest and most expensive political positions that we entertain here in the country of Canada, travels to Finland to give a climate change speech in which she says we cannot ignore that how we do things is just as important as what we do.
You gotta be shitting me.
Let me get this straight. Mary, her husband, a photographer, and 13 other passengers jumped on a Challenger jet, burned 24,290 liters of jet fuel that emits 77 tons of carbon into the atmosphere, and then in public say how we do things is just as important as what we do. Like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I mean, no wonder the government pushed through Bill C-18. If I was the government, I'd try and do everything I could to get Facebook and Google to stop sharing Canadian news content if this is the stupid shit that we're up to. I just love how these environmental climate change activists like to line up the beef industry and tell us that we're the problem with climate change, while we're taking marginal lands and making them look like this, and making them look like this. All while these windbags jump on a jet, fly across the ocean, spewing methane into the atmosphere so they can all sit around and jerk each other off and tell them how they're doing something special to make the world a better place. Like, talk about autofellatio. Fuck around in the Northwest Territories and find out.
So in Fort McPherson, Northwest Territories, two dirtbags steal a pickup truck and speed away from the RCMP. And then later that day, just outside of the community, a group of residents surround these two dirty bastards and they assaulted them, resulting in injuries. Then later that day, the RCMP issue a statement that persons involved in vigilante justice can be arrested. You gotta be shitting me.
Listen, I've got nothing but respect for our law enforcement services in Canada. But the problem is that they put their lives on the line trying to apprehend criminals, and this goofball has made it so that by the time they get said criminals apprehended and get the paperwork done on them, our lack of justice catch and release system has already got them back out on the streets before they've got the T's dotted and the I's crossed. Or whatever it is.
Do you know why guys like Chief Evan Bray, who've spent their entire career trying to keep you and your family safe from asshats that want to hurt them, are choosing to retire? It's because social justice warriors on social media and the federal government have made sure that their job is impossible to do and that there are no winners but the criminals. So they're just choosing to retire, and I don't fucking blame them. Could you imagine your job being to protect the people that are advocating to have the person that you just risked your life to get off of the streets put back onto the streets, and you're gonna have to go back out again in 20 fucking minutes and risk your life to get that criminal back off of the streets again? I mean, I have absolutely no ill feelings towards any of these fine individuals that are trying to get themselves out of law enforcement, and my big concern is that we're not gonna have anybody left that wants to get into law enforcement.
So you'll have to forgive me when I cheer that a group of people got together and boot-fucked a couple of drug dealers. I get they're putting themselves at risk, but you gotta understand they're already at risk with these people in their community. And I would be willing to bet that those two criminal bastards are a lot less likely to reoffend after dancing the Tony Lama two-step or getting a little Brahma trauma, whatever you want to call it, with a couple of good old people in the Northwest Territories. Bravo!
All that was missing from this situation was the community of vigilantes gathering around these criminal bastards and giving them a good old-fashioned teabagging.
And finally, the You Bastard Tractor Company, stop eromatioing me. Now listen, the fact that I've got cattle, I wear a hat like this, and I wear boots like this, probably good indication that the front end of the old 7520, otherwise known as the chore tractor, is gonna get smashed around by a bale feeder every now and then. So it comes time, I need to replace the front lights in this bastard. And wouldn't you know it, after pulling the headlight assemblies out, one of these bastards is completely fucked. So I need to order a new one of these. So when it comes, right? It's a piece of fucking plastic. $257. Okay, well, I'm kind of in a spot where I need it, right? So the other thing I got going on is there's these adjustment screws that you adjust the direction of your headlights with. And they've got these fancy little plastic pieces that are supposed to be on the top of this that are all broke off. So I need 6 of these things. 6 of them. $38.25 each. I need 6. That's $229.50 for 6 of these. You gotta be shitting me. They don't even come with these fancy little black metal clips that hold these plastic things in the back of this plastic piece. So make sure that these get retained off of the old fucked one because you're gonna need it for the new one. $529.34. You Bastard Tractor Company, stop eromatioing me.
Have I made my point on these cards yet?
This is Quick Dick McDick signing off with some advice for you. If watching the news is sometimes making you frown, get your ass outside at night, watch the sun go down. Catch you next time. Little bastards.
QuickTakeMcDick.ca. Although I'm not wearing any of my merch right now, you can get some sweet hats and stuff from there if you want. Or don't. I don't give a shit. New stuff coming next week.